laugh when it's hard and we fight there too. Cause God's got a plan for me and you. We're keeping it H-O-T, honest, open, transparent, you see. Bridging hearts, baby, where love's supposed to be. From the vows we set to the dreams we chase, we're building forever in God's embrace. So, bridging hearts. From the kitchen table talks to the
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How are we doing today?
Good morning.
Good morning. So we'd like to welcome you to another podcast of Bridging Hearts Marriage on Purpose. We're so glad that you're here with us this morning. We know this is going to be an awesome time. So as you guys are coming in, we just ask that you just like and share. You know, we really appreciate you guys. If you can just like and share, it'd be awesome if you could do that.
So good morning. I'm Rhonda Jackson.
And I'm Jerry Jackson, and we're your hosts of Marriage on Purpose.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
So today, go ahead.
So today's conversation is definitely not going to be a surface level type conversation, but we're going to be talking about something a lot of couples feel, but they don't always, voice it. But it's just certain things that we go through in marriage. And so we're talking about if our marriage is actually growing or if we just going through the motions. All right?
Yeah, because, let's be real. Just because you're together doesn't mean you're still connected.
Correct. Yeah.
And that is so true.
Mm-hmm.
You be together, but you're not connected. So today we're going to be diving into 3 key areas of that. So we're going to be talking about marriage momentum, mindset, and well-being. And it just lets you, even if one of these are off, your whole relationship feels.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Your whole relationship is going to feel, and it's going to be off.
So we know that today's episode is going to be awesome.
Yeah. And so, so you know what, if you're able to take pen and paper and just write some of these notes down, because this is something, if you and your spouse is not actually sitting together and able to discuss it afterward, just take a couple of notes, and so that you can probably have that discussion a little later today. I know it's early in the morning. It's hard getting together, the two of you this early, taking notes on marriage, right? But if you can just take pen and paper and just, jot down a couple of things, and you can talk about it, maybe over dinner tonight. But again, we just want to say welcome this morning. We want to welcome everyone in, and we definitely want to dive into today's conversation. And we are praying that it will bring a lot of marriages out of stagnation and into thriving. Okay. So
right, yeah, and this is a very interesting conversation because we kind of really talked about it just to see where we were.
Yeah.
In this situation too. So it's a much needed conversation. There's 3 important areas that you need to deal with: momentum, your mindset, and your well-being.
Yeah.
And all 3 of those in alignment is going to help you sustain your marriage. It's going to help you grow.
Yeah. And the reason we came up with this is because we just embarked on our 4th year anniversary, meaning we have completed 4, going into our 5th year. And we noticed some conversations had changed. We wasn't having these conversations last year, definitely not the first year, right? And so we just started talking about, why marriages, stay stagnant and why some marriages thrive. And so we're going to dive into that on today, right? Okay.
Awesome.
And so we're going to start with momentum, right? So as we start with momentum means your marriage is moving forward, it's growing, it's evolving, and you're building. But a lot of couples, they're not moving forward. They're staying safe. They're maintaining, right? So they same routine, same arguments, same distance. And so a lot of couples are just staying safe. And so we want to ask you on today, have you ever felt like your marriage was on autopilot? Yeah, a
Just
lot
going
of
through the
yeah,
motions.
just going through the motions every day. And so we can say that exactly, especially for the first year or two, we were on autopilot because we was keeping it safe.
They-
And we just certain conversation we'll have, but not really dive into the why. We're having these conversations of why we feel the way we feel
Feel.
because we was afraid to be that sandpaper to one another's character, because of, like I said, this is what our fourth year now and going into five, but we were just playing it really safe the first year or two and not having real conversations. We'll talk a lot, but we wasn't diving into the deep things in our conversation, right?
Yeah, that is so true because a lot of things happen and we go through different things, and you're thinking about what happened.
Hmm.
What happened here, what happened there. What caused this, but we never ask why.
Yeah.
We always talk about the what, but we never talk about why it happened.
Hmm.
So these are some great things that we really just God is really in our heart to really think about the why.
Hmm.
Because we always talk about what happened. Oh, he did this or she did that, or he act this way or she act that way. But why is the major thing,
Hmm.
and that's where growth comes in.
Yeah. So, babe, explain that to us. I'm saying us because I need to understand it a little bit more too. I know we talked about it earlier, but well, earlier this week. But you're saying, explain what does that look like? The what happened and the why happened.
Okay. Well, first of all, you have to be intentional with everything you do in
Hmm.
your relationship. And what I mean by the what and the why, it could be an incident where,
Give me a real life. Like
okay,
what happened?
a real life incident where, just say something was said
Mhm.
that made me upset.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm dealing with the what was said
Okay.
opposed to me when you're not growing in that relationship
Hmm.
and understanding and having that conversation. You're going to focus on what was said,
Hmm.
opposed to when you grow and you understand that things happen and things transpire. But why am I upset about what
Okay.
she said?
So you're looking at you and not the
Right.
person.
I'm looking at
Okay.
myself as
Yeah.
why I
Yeah.
got angry, not
That's good.
not because of what you said,
Uh-huh.
but why did it affect me the way it
Wow.
affected me?
Okay.
So these are some things that we have to look at. A lot of us look at the what was said.
Hmm.
Okay, it may not have been out of malice
Hmm.
or intent, what was said, but you dwelling on what is said, opposed to when you grow in things, you understand, you're seeking the why you respond the way.
Yeah, why is it affecting
Why
you
is it
the
affecting me?
way?
It
That's good.
is.
Okay. That's very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the truth. If you're not intentional about your marriage, then your marriage will begin to drift.
Yes.
And so when my husband was just saying, when we really have to look at ourselves and why are we responding the way we do. And so when problems or situations arise, we're not looking at what they did, but we're looking at ourselves and why are we responding the way we did, right?
That's true.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's very good.
Yeah, we have to seek why.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question.
Okay.
When was the last time you and your spouse did something new together? Are you building memories, or are you just managing life?
When the last time we talked about this,
And
y'all?
we had a
Yeah,
conversation
and
about this
when the
too.
last time we did something together, and I remember we was talking about. I was saying that we was playing it safe, right? And so we used to do things. We had a lot of activities, that we were involved in, and we were just doing things, just enjoying marriage, right?
Mhm.
And so the other day, what day was it? Last Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, we just went and saw the Michael Jackson movie. It was so good.
Yeah.
Y'all got to go see
See
it.
it.
Got to go see it. And we thought about that, and we was like, "Dang, we haven't been to the movies together in a long time." And so that was the last time we did something, and it was meaningful.
Right.
And we talked about it after we went to the movie. We actually had a nice conversation about it.
Right. And it brought about memory.
Mhm.
It's lasting memory because it's something that brought us joy.
Yeah.
It's something that we embrace being
Mhm.
together,
Mhm.
as a couple, and just loving them and just loving the atmosphere and the bonding that we
Yeah.
were doing. So it was the memory was great just to be able to say, oh, sit down and just be able to laugh in
Yeah.
the movie and have a conversation, because, some people go to the movies and the spouses, one sitting over here, one sitting, and there really is no engagement.
Right.
They're just there.
Yeah.
But the memory of us just being able to have that time
Yeah.
together, because we hadn't had it in a while,
Yeah.
just have that time together where we can reflect on one another and enjoy one another. So those are some
Yeah.
memories that we were looking at.
Yeah. And it just took us back to, when we did used to go out all the time. And then I think because, winter came, it got cold outside and it just got comfortable just staying in the house. It was real comfortable.
Right.
So,
Stand on the couch, Netflix, instead of just
Yeah.
really getting out and enjoying it. But it
Yeah.
brought back a lot of memories of the times we used to just hang out
Yeah.
and go to the plays, go to the movies.
Yeah.
And it brought back a lot of memories of the things
Yeah.
that we used to do.
And we got to get out again this
Yeah.
summer. We'll be outside, y'all. We'll be outside. And so I just want to remind you all that a stagnant marriage, it doesn't stay still. It slowly declines. So we got to keep that spice in our marriage. We got to continue to date one another. And so that goes on to our next topic. It's the marriage mindset.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're
Mhm.
talking about different well-being. So we talked about momentum,
Mhm.
how momentum is the thing that you're growing constantly and you're moving forward instead of staying stagnant. So
That's
we're
good.
going to briefly talk about 3 different aspects of that life.
Mhm.
We talked about momentum. So we're going to talk about mindset now.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay.
So because, what you think about your spouse matters more.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
So it matters more than you really realize.
Yeah.
So you have to really think about your mindset. Is your mindset negative? Everything they do irritates you, or if your mindset healthy, you extend grace.
Yeah.
And I think that's the things that we have to understand. We have to be able to show our spouse grace.
Yeah.
We got to have that mindset that we are all not perfect. So we have to show the grace in order to, accept some of the mistakes that
Yeah.
they make
Right.
and be able to grow from that and
Mhm.
help them grow through that,
Mhm.
because we are not, like I said, again, we are not perfect. So we
Right.
can't always think negative or develop a negative pattern, like keeping
Mhm.
score
Yeah.
versus showing grace.
Mhm.
And that's one of it's an unrealistic expectation for
Yeah.
us to just not to show grace, but just, keep score.
Yeah.
And then that's
And
not
that's
fair for you.
unrealistic. Yeah. And so we want to know, do you see your spouse as your partner or do you see your spouse as your problem?
Ooh.
Are you trying to be right or are you trying to get it right?
Right.
This is a mindset that we're talking about. And some of us have created a whole story in our head about our spouse, and we're responding to that story, not to the actual person. Real life story. When my husband and I, when we got married, my husband, he is a really nice guy. Jerry is so super nice, right? But
Ooh,
and he
no,
never really said no. And what I was realizing, Jerry really never said no. He didn't say no to me, and so I was cool with that, right? But then when he didn't say no to others, I had a problem. I had a problem. And so now when we're talking about, making up a story in our head about our spouse, and so now it had gotten to a place where every time it was time to make a decision, I already had the story in my head where he just going to let them do whatever they want to do because he's not going to tell them no. And so then I had to respond to the story that I had in my head concerning him. But you know what? You can't do that. You have to extend grace and don't believe the story in your head. We had to have a real conversation of, we talked about it earlier. It's why do you feel like you have to, extend grace and not say no to people? Why are you not saying no? And so after that conversation, now I don't have to make up a story in my head thinking that he's not going to respond in the way I thought he would. But he will, take care of it. I don't have to take care of it for him, right?
Right. And that's, you have to understand when the narrative responding to that story, because you just may be responding to the first chapter. And there's several other chapters behind that.
Yeah, that's good.
So you have to realize that you're responding to the first chapter, but there's 5 more chapters behind that. So you can't base it off that first chapter.
Yeah.
So you have to show some grace and some understanding and some growth and learning in that, in order to truly respond to the actual person and not the story that was told before.
Yeah. Or babe, you can't respond to the story of if something probably actually happened before. But did they change? Did they change? Yeah, they probably did do that before. But did they apologize? And now you see the change. They're changing. So now you have to extend grace and let them operate in that change. And you can't keep that story in your head of what they did before, because now you're dealing with in another chapter. Y'all get what we're saying here?
That's true.
So you got to change the narrative in your head concerning your spouse.
Yeah.
Because your mindset can either build intimacy or it can slowly destroy it.
Yeah.
And you don't want it to be destroyed.
Yeah,
right?
because if your mindset is not really on the other spouse.
The other spouse.
Your partner, should I say, your spouse.
Okay, your spouse.
If your mindset is not your spouse.
But you said other.
Well,
okay. Okay.
Woo.
Right.
No. So why are you saying that? No. But seriously, you have to have that mindset with your spouse, because if you don't, if you have a negative mindset, if you have a negative mindset or an unhealthy mindset, that intimacy is lost, because there's no connection. And what I mean by intimacy is not necessarily the physical part of it. It's the emotional part of that. So when you have that negative and unhealthy mindset, the connection is not there. So the intimacy is not there. So you can't grow. And a lot of times at that point, you can't extend that grace because you have an unhealthy mindset.
Yeah. Concerning your spouse.
Yeah. So you don't, you really don't value what they have to say.
Wow.
So, and you don't,
you can't even see the change.
You don't see the change because you have an unhealthy mindset that, oh, she did it before or he did it before, she's going to do it again or he's going to do it again.
Yeah.
So you really got to, be mindful of the unhealthy mindset.
Yeah. And so now, that was good. Yeah. And we just gotta, what? I was just thinking, you got to understand or think about, why are you even thinking like that now? If they made a mistake in the past, they apologized, and now, you got to think of them in a different way. You can't think of them in the way they were in the past. And so now you have to work within yourself and say, you know what, this is not that person. Remember when, I'm just thinking about a situation a while ago when you left your phones at the house. And he had left both of his phones at the house and he went to work. And I was getting ready to just go through those phones like, yeah, I can see now if he's saying everything that is there any hidden messages in these phones? But then I had to think about it. And I'm like, but why would I do that? This man has never did anything to me to betray my trust. And so I'm thinking my mindset went back into other relationships. And so now I'm thinking I got to check him out to make sure he's on the up and up, right? And this was early on in our marriage, but it was a real thing that I still was learning to trust. So now, why would I think of him like I thought of the others, that I couldn't trust him? And long story short, I did not go through the phone because I knew if I would have gone through his phones, then that would have betrayed trust. And then he would have found out I went through him. And the thing about it is I knew both of his codes. And so I could have very easily went through the phones. But why? He never did anything to betray the trust. And
Right.
even if he had, let's just say that he had, but he apologized. And he's showing meat for his repentance. So he's already saying that he's sorry. He has apologized. So now, am I going to trust him, or am I going to still go through those phones? And if I did, then I have to ask myself, now why? Why am I doing that? And what would make me, am I going to forgive and continue to in this relationship? Or am I going to just go through the motion and act like, we all good and we okay, when in my mind, we're really not, because I still don't trust, out of fear that he's going to do it again. So we have to make up our mind that, you know what, I'm going to trust, and I'm not going to do what I used to do because I'm learning to trust again.
Right. For those who just joined us or maybe join us later, we're talking about, we're diving into 3 key areas of marriage that's going to help us to make our relationship whole. And one of the areas we talked about is momentum, and that going forward, and moving forward and growing and everything in your life. And another one was what was the other? What was that? Mindset. Your mindset. Thank you. Your mindset. How to develop your mindset. So we're talking about 3 key areas. So right now we're going to talk about the well-being.
Yeah.
Your marriage well-being.
Marriage well-being.
Which is something we really need to focus on as well. So we need to look. Okay, we're going to say this. You cannot pour into your marriage if you're empty,
right? Stressed
or burnt out. You cannot do it. If you're empty, you cannot pour into your marriage. So you have to be able to make sure your marriage is well-being. Your body, your mind, your spirit is all in alignment. It has to be fully engaged, fully. Like I said, your cup's got to be full, because you can't pour into an empty cup.
Yeah. Pour from an empty cup.
Well, yeah. And vice versa.
Yeah.
You can't pour into, and you can't pour from, which is correct.
Okay.
But, emotional exhaustion, lack of self-care, bringing outside stress into your relationship. These are some things that are going to hinder you from being able to be well-being in your marriage, because you're bringing in stuff from outside that has nothing to do with your marriage.
Yeah.
You're emotionally dealing with things outside, and you're really not really taking heart to that and understanding why or what's going on.
Yeah.
So you bring that into the marriage as well, and into the relationship. So the exhaustion of dealing with that, you have to be able to be strengthened and be at a place where you can pour into people.
Yeah.
So if you're not in a place where you can pour into people, it's not going to be healthy.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not that your marriage is broken, it's that you're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And some people think that that their marriage is broken because of the exhaustion and the mindset. It's not. You're just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that you're overwhelmed.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you got to understand that when you're overwhelmed, you do things without even thinking about it, because you're just tired. I mean, you just got too much. Everybody, when you pour into everything outside of your marriage, your job, your children, and everything, church even, you're pouring into everything, but then you have nothing left for your spouse. And you're being overwhelmed. That's the time you really need to just get away You really need to get away and just take some time for yourself. So now we want to ask you, are you bringing your best self into your marriage, or are you bringing leftovers?
Ooh,
What are you carrying personally that's affecting your relationship?
that is so true.
Yeah. And so healthy marriages are built by two people who are willing to work on themselves, not just point the fingers at each other.
And that is so
Hmm.
important because you have to be able to work together.
Hmm.
And because me pointing the finger or my wife pointing the finger at me is not going to help the situation, because all it's going to do is bring a negativity to the situation.
Yeah.
So if we can learn how to show grace, or we
Hmm.
can grow together and not necessarily point fingers,
Yeah.
but like we said earlier, understand the why
Hmm.
of what's happening and
Hmm.
what was said, because that is so important that we understand why. Because it's a lot of time we think it's something that somebody said. No, it could be past trauma.
Hmm.
It could be
Wow.
anything that brought back memories of
Hmm.
certain things. So that's the why. It's not necessarily what was said, but it's the why.
Am I responding?
I'm responding the way I'm responding.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the real thing is, two drained people cannot build a thriving marriage. And I remember one couple that we interviewed, he said, Apostle Perry said that, only one of us can be mad at a time. You can't both be mad at the same time. So two people cannot be drained at the same time, right? And I like when he said that, and I'm going to carry that one for a while. So now you have to ask the question that most people avoid.
Boy,
If your marriage, we're going to ask you this, and this is probably something that you can actually sit down with your spouse later tonight and just talk to them and just ask them, if our marriage stayed exactly how it is today for the next 5 years, would I be fulfilled or frustrated?
ooh,
If our marriage stayed exactly how it is right now, today, for the next 5 years, would you be fulfilled or would you be frustrated?
and that is a question.
Mm-hmm.
That is a question you really have to take the time and think about.
Yeah.
Because what you're going through now, today,
Mm-hmm.
if that same thing happened for the next 5 years,
Yeah.
would you be fulfilled or would you be frustrated?
Wow. Yeah.
And that is a powerful question.
Yeah. And so if you ask that question, you have a discussion with your spouse, and then if your answer is fulfilled, but keep building on it, continue to build on that. But if it's frustration, you'll be frustrated. Now you're going to have to unpack that. And you unpack it in a way, okay, what do we need to do here? You're going to have to start asking some hard questions like, what's going on? How did we get here? And what's going on? How are we going to look going forward?
And the thing is too, if you're frustrated, and it goes back to that, why?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you frustrated?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a conversation that you can have,
Wow.
that you can put out there.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I feel that I'm going to be frustrated,
Mm-hmm.
because you really didn't have that connection.
Mm-hmm.
But when you understand why you're going to feel frustrated, now you can come together and you can develop and set a plan where now we can come out of that frustration and go into that fulfillment.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So you all, marriage don't happen by accident. It grows with intention. And that's something that we always talk about. If we said something today, and that hit you, don't ignore it. You need to talk about it. You got to really talk about it, because it grows with intention. You got to be intentional about your conversation, about your marriage, and what do you want to see in the next 5 years? How would you like it to look? But it's not just about you. It's two people in this relationship, right? So what do the two of you see in the next 5 years? How would the two of you like it to look within the next 5 years? So those are the conversations that you should be having. even tonight, and just start working toward it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, early, we'll have it tonight because
Mm-hmm.
this morning you're getting ready. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, but that's just the mindset
Mm-hmm.
that you have to ask, that you
Yeah.
have to have in order for your relationship to grow, in order for your marriage to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have that well-being. We
Mm-hmm.
talked about well-being, we talked about the mindset, and we talked about momentum. And momentum is where you grow, where
Mm-hmm.
you going forward. You never want to be in a stagnated state where you don't grow. You
Mm-hmm.
don't want to the same thing. You want to have the same conversation. You don't want to have the same
You staying
argument.
safe. Yeah. You
You
having the
staying
same
safe.
arguments.
You
Yeah.
staying safe. You're not willing to grow. So
Mm-hmm.
you having the same arguments over the same thing because you're not willing to grow. You're
Mm-hmm.
not willing to expand. You're not willing to be vulnerable in that situation where you can grow.
Mm-hmm.
So, momentum, your mindset, and your well-being is
Yeah.
very important in your marriage
Yeah.
and how it's going to survive and how it's going to grow.
Yeah. Yeah. So you all, thank you all so much. I mean, this we're not going to prolong
Yeah.
this because it was really power packed with this information, and it makes you just sit back and think about what we have shared here. And so the things that we have shared, you want to make sure you take it in, you listen to it, and then you can come back and have a healthy conversation with your spouse. So I mean, because it's going to allow you to grow in your marriage
Marriage.
and build in your marriage. Okay.
So we just hope that you guys you got a great information, that you
Hmm.
got a great understanding of what we spoke about. So just please like and share. If
Hmm.
look at the questions that we have posted here. If you want to look at it through replay and
Hmm.
ask those questions
Yeah.
and develop that mindset and develop that momentum to go forward
Yeah.
and strengthen that well-being of your marriage and
Hmm.
of yourself where
Yeah.
you can grow.
Yeah. And so, you know what? Tag another couple who may need this conversation. Do us a favor, a huge favor. Like,
Yeah.
share, and even go follow us on YouTube as well. And, help us build our YouTube channel, y'all.
Yes.
And so, yeah, tag another couple, tag a couple that you know that may need this conversation because, it's really, I'm not going to say a waste of time because, people, they're comfortable doing what they're doing. But if you in a marriage, you want to be happy in your marriage, right? You don't want to just that same old, humdrum type relationship on autopilot. Yeah, dinner is the only conversations you have is what's for dinner.
Dinner.
You really don't even have a good conversation. You can't even really talk about how was your day at work. Really? Oh wow, what happened? Because you just playing it safe. You don't even want to talk about work. You don't want to talk about anything. How the kids, who taking the kids to school tomorrow. You just on autopilot. And who wants to live like that?
Yeah. You want to play it safe because even if there's something bothering you,
Mm-hmm.
even if there's something that's upsetting you that may have been said or something like that, you don't want to cause a ripple.
Yeah.
So you're playing it safe.
Mm-hmm.
And you, like I said, you're on autopilot. So you're not really growing in that because you're allowing it to fester. You're allowing it to grow.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to grow in that situation and understand why and what happened,
Yeah.
where you can get a better understanding on how can we fix this?
Mhm.
How can we grow together where this issue doesn't become a melting pot for us,
Yeah.
where it doesn't divide us,
Mm-hmm.
So when you can have that conversation and talk about it, it's more likely that you can survive in that relationship.
Right. Yeah. So that's it for us on today, you all. We do have a couple of announcements that we want to share with you. Were you?
No,
Did you want to ask
I'm
anything else?
fine.
Okay. Yeah. And so we got something coming up, you all. We want to share this. We're doing another cruise. We
Let's
got
do it
another
again.
cruise coming up,
Let's
you
do
all.
it again.
Yeah, and this cruise is September 26th through October 1st, and we are cruising to Mexico out of Galveston, Texas. And so normally you want to get there a day before, but we are cruising a 5-day cruise to Galveston, to Mexico, Cozumel, and what's the other one? Progreso.
Yucatan.
Yucatan, Yucatan. So so we are cruising, you all. We got like a couple of 4 days at sea where we will be engaging with other couples. Last year we had so much fun, and it was just a lot of fun being with other married couples and just enjoying one another's company. We had dinner time together, and for the most part, we did our own thing, and some of the couples, got off into being together. And but I mean, it was just a great time. And I think our last cruise was only like 3 days, but this one is 5 days.
5 days.
It's 5 days. And we had so much fun. We had on our t-shirts. Everybody was looking at us. Oh, like, you're one of them. Okay. And we just had a great time. So we do want to invite you all to do it again. Let's do it again. Yeah. And so we are looking for a couple of more couples to come alongside us. I think last time we had about, what was it, 9 couples? 10?
About 9.
Nine couples. Yeah, so we're looking to double that this time, you all. And this cruise is only like a little, I think the inside cabin is a little over $500. We are going to post this flyer, so it has all the information on there. And so you can contact the travel agent, and they can guide you through the payment and the payment plan, or the payment in full, or what have you. So we do ask that you, if you cannot go, even if you can just share this information to another couple and they can go, that would be wonderful. Okay.
Yeah, because the time is limited, and then there's, it's filling up fast.
Yeah.
So we want you to be able to join and know that this is going to be an awesome cruise.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be love everywhere. And not only just love, but the growth.
Yeah.
The momentum that's going to take place in this. In this cruise. Let's do it again. It's just bringing back the memories of why you started out the way you started out. Why you wanted to get married in the first place.
Yes.
Let's do it again. It's bringing back the love that you started off with. Yeah. And it's just rekindling that and just get some better understanding of why you married the spouse that you married. Yeah. So that's what we have coming up. We do have some other things that's coming up, but we got to solidify the dates. We're going to have a couples game night coming up real soon. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's a couples game night. We have the cruise, and we do have with the Marilyn and Johnny Lloyd, we got a 1-day conference coming up in October on Sweetest Day. And so we do have a couple of more things coming up. It's about 3 or 4 more things coming up this year. And so stay tuned. We will be posting these different activities, but we do ask that you try to connect with one or all of these different activities, because normally couples that hang out with other couples, they tend to have more fun, and they tend to, their marriage is strengthened because you're with other strong couples as well. That's true. And we will post the other event as well for Johnny and Marilyn Lloyd, the Sweetest Day. It's going to be a powerful event as well. So you can get a back-to-back double blessing.
Yeah. September and October. Yeah. It's going to be really good, you all. Yeah.
So it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So you all, thanks once again for coming on the broadcast again. Ask you to like and share. And, if any couples that need this information, please go ahead and just tag them on here. Okay.
All right. That's it.
All right. So that's it for today, you all. Thanks again for coming on. We do appreciate each and every one of you. And we pray that you will have an awesome day. God bless.
God bless you guys.
Got a card game to spark up the flame. straight from above, designed for his purpose, sealed with his love. Every tear, every laugh, every baby, I'm sorry. It's all part of the story. To him be the glory. H-O